Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
Hello, welcome. It is KVJ After the Show Podcast Thursday, bitches. Yeah, what's up? Here we go, weekend. Almost here. Yeah, gonna get drunk.
You're gonna get drunk. I was finishing an email, kind of half listening to you. Like, what is he singing? We're gonna get drunk. In the voice he uses to talk to his dog.
That's right, yeah. Dog will too.
Coco, you gonna get your drink on?
Oh, Coco. Craziness. And my house is just nuts. Just all kinds of, there's always something going on. Got so many damn animals running around the backyard.
I hear
it's
you,
chaos
man.
back there. Sit down, I'm doing work, and all you see is little flashes of things. Like what was that?
Yeah, it's darting by.
Yeah, you don't even know what it is. I mean, it's like, because they put the dog food out back, and it's so funny because I get up in the morning early, and sometimes, like the other night, for whatever reason, I woke up at like 12:30, and I was just like, and I'd gone to bed at 6:30 the night before, so it was 6 hours of sleep, and my mind starts going because, that's the thing. It's always going, oh, content.
What the fuck are we going to talk about tomorrow?
Where am I?
God, I can't even count the hours I got to fill. And so you're just always, so my mind's racing. So at that point, like I get up and finally get ready. And I'm getting ready to leave. And of course, it's like 1 a.m. and my mother-in-law's taking her bath. And you're just like, what's going on? And then like this morning,
you said
1 a.m.
She's taking her bath.
The house is just so bizarre. I mean, it really is. Just being in my house. It's just,
But
there's so much.
It's so normal to you now.
There's so many. I mean, really, when you stop and there's so many abnormal things that just happen. You just everything, because I'm always so in the movement of going forward and show that you stop every now and you're going, what the fuck's going on?
Because you really had. It sounded like you had a normal upbringing as far.
It could be, yeah. It was as normal as you could be. I mean, it was normal to a fault.
So when you say things like mother-in-law bathing at 1 a.m., that's so normal to me because we lived in a house of chaos.
Right.
It was so not normal.
Yeah.
It becomes normal.
So chaos is now my normal, whereas before normal was my normal. And so, yeah, sometimes you miss little things, but you really shouldn't because they are fascinating. And, she's up getting her bath at 1 a.m, of course. And then a morning like this morning, it's 2:30, I think it is, and I'm preparing myself. And it's tough on the timing, in a sense. Like, not that I would dread seeing my mother-in-law, but...
You don't want to see her in the tub.
No, definitely not in the tub. But in the kitchen, then, she has a routine, almost like me, and almost as precise, where the bathwater comes on at like exactly 1:10 a.m. and it runs. We have this massive tub. It's like filling a swimming pool. I mean, the water bill's got to be through the roof.
Is she bathing in your bedroom or in Caitlin's bath?
Well, Caitlin's, because one side of the house has the bedrooms attached to it.
I was really hoping you told me she has to go through your room and use your shower to
Well,
bathe.
you've got a massive, like a Roman tub.
Yeah.
But she, in that other bathroom, has like one of those old-time tubs with feet.
Yeah, the white tubs.
The white ones with feet.
It's deep, though. It's very deep.
It's very deep.
Yeah.
And it's really cool looking.
It takes 6 hours to fill.
Almost. I mean, it really does. And like I told you, the pipes in my house, they make this noise. It's like a screaming, almost murderous sound that just, it's hard to even sleep through. And I have 3 fans going in my rooms, for quiet and just to kind of keep me in that zone of sleep that I need. And
So when the water's on, the pipes have to be doing...
It's just constant. It's like fans with this faint, like murderous noise on the other side of the house that you can just kind of hear.
Yeah.
That's going on. So she starts this routine, but then if I catch it about like 2:35 and get a little bit late, or 2:40 getting out of the house in the morning, then she's there getting Coco the dog's food ready. And it's really amazing because normally people would just take a little bit of dog food, pour it into a bowl, and boom, you're ready to go. No, she's making this ornate buffet. Well, there's a couple like pebbles of dog food, and then she has a couple dog bones that are in there, and like another sausage type of like, tied together, twist tie kind of dog treat. And then she takes string cheese and chops up string cheese.
So it's a process.
Aw.
I mean, it's an unbelievable. And she
It's a lot of love.
This is a Pomeranian.
That lucky dog.
I know, right?
Pomeranian probably weighs about 80 ounces. And her food must weigh as much as she does. And then in the morning, it's amazing. You see her put down the dog bowl out back where Coco stays. And all of a sudden, like 20 crows come from the trees. And they swoop down and just start picking through this bowl.
And they are happy because it's a delicious meal.
I'm like, why do we keep feeding the damn birds?
I mean, the
Tim?
birds are eating well.
I mean, you walk outside, it looks like the freaking crows. It's horrifying. I go in my backyard, and they're just sitting and wait.
Anything the crows drop, the rats come and get.
Yes. No, they do. I've gone in there and I've seen that was the thing. Rats are eating out of this food bowl.
Oh, yeah.
You live in like a gross zoo.
It's disgusting. There's so much food to go around because she makes so much. And
They always say
the dog eats none of it.
you're not supposed to leave the food outside.
I know,
It
I
does.
know.
It brings on rats and raccoons
I
and
tell
possums.
them that. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
It's so funny.
Can we stop the insanity around here?
I
And
totally get it.
They're at the house and they have so much. Like I'm hardly ever home. I come home. I pretty much eat, go to bed, get up, come to work, and that's about it. Like I don't have a lot of functional time at my house, and on the weekends we're always on the go, so I'm never there. So all I can do is just spit out like, hey, why don't we feed the dog inside? That seems like a really good idea. And I spit that out about 5-6 times. Nothing changes. It just, the madness continues.
You really, it sounds like you're describing my childhood as far as just complete chaos. Someone's showering at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
The dog's eating outside, bearing hot dogs, which is going to lead the rats here.
Well, and Grandma sleeps in the garage. So, I mean, there's so much odd. It's just, meanwhile, the older kids are gone. I mean, we've got 2 functional bedrooms completely wide open. Like, there's plenty of space to just go in and make it happen.
Anne would have the worst timing. I know she doesn't listen to the podcast, so I can talk shit. It would be 2:30 in the morning, and she would make a fucking buffet of food. The coffee going, and then it would sound like she was wrestling a burglar because she would take all of these dishes out. It would last an hour and a half. It would get everybody so. I hope this doesn't get back to her. I'm so afraid.
Yeah, my mother-in-law kind of does it too. She does the dishes that time of the morning too, and so you clank, bang.
Yeah.
Her and I see where my wife gets it. My wife is so loud and just doesn't even respect sleep. And I see where she gets it. Like my mother-in-law, like I'm in there asleep and she'll have something to say, and she comes in, the door's open. Cam, hey, did you know that? She's got this like kind of like crowish kind of voice that's. Hey, Cam, can't be quiet. Stop talking. Hey, Cam. And she's from Chicago, so she's got on top of it. And it's so startling. You're like, oh, come out of this sleep. What the hell is going on?
I'd be so mad.
Kevin's the only child that
Right.
just wants to be left alone.
And I'm used to just calm, quiet, peace. Just everything in my childhood until I was 18 years old was normal. Everything now is just chaotic and noisy, and it's all this stuff that you go through. Yeah, and so in the morning, we just got, these crows in the backyard and all these bizarre birds fighting over the food. Rats are back there. We've got possums now. We had a family of possums.
It's breeding season from what I understand. That
Yeah.
people are emailing me, and I thought I heard Amy say that. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, no, it is. It's a mating season, and so a lot of the
Oh.
animals are just going crazy.
It's
so.
mating season. What are you going to do this weekend, Bird?
Watch the rats fucking my wall because it's mating season.
And masturbate.
You got me.
Nothing gets him hotter than rat dick.
Yeah, she wants it. Oh, yeah.
Give it to her, rat.
Then I'll watch the lizards do it in my little patio because they are always screwing.
We need to get you a girlfriend. Really bad.
I swear, I'm not jerking off the lizards humping. I swear to you.
Only rats.
Well, the rats are hot. I think we all can agree.
They do it right. They do it right. So it's just always entertaining. And then I sit there at the table that, we've got the screen or the glass doors that look out. And so I'm just sitting there working. Like I said, you see,
You know it's furry. It has a tail.
Well, and the thing about the backyard is, we have all these palms. We had the backyard redone a couple years ago. But since we had it done a couple years ago, my wife doesn't like the way I trim things. And so she won't let me in the backyard to trim anything because she says I cut it back too far. So meanwhile, it's for 2 years gone unattended.
Oh.
She says she likes the overgrown jungle look. It looks like a ghetto trash yard.
No,
And
it's
I'm
pretty
not allowed
rough.
to touch it. And I don't want to deal with the fight to
It
go out
looks
there.
like a foreclosure backyard.
It does. And I'm like, what are we doing? I'm like, if I can't go back there, can you call someone, like, at least? And she's like, oh,
If
okay.
I'm too dumb,
Yeah.
can we get somebody
Right.
who knows?
I thought we were going to, and I thought 8 months ago I impressed upon her and someone was going to show up. 8 months later, it's still just, it's ridiculous.
When I was over there, there was so many different animal moments. There were the bees, and then there was, I think,
It's
a
chaos.
rat. Yeah, well, it was chaos.
Yeah, we have swarms of bees and crows and freaking rats and possums. And then she got this, what was supposed to be a rose bush, which if you know a rose bush, you always got to cut them back and things along that
Yeah,
line.
they're tough to maintain, but they're beautiful when you put the work in.
When you don't, they become overgrown with huge spines on them, and it's now grown through the backyard. So as I'm walking to the beer fridge every now and then, you forget and you turn around, oh, my eye! Oh, God, it hit my eye. And, I mean, it's 4-inch long spikes.
Thorns.
Thorns that has
yeah.
on this thing.
Every rose has its thorns.
It's a torturous, it's a horrifying. I mean, honestly, it should be a sudden death. You have to go blindfolded into my backyard during feeding time in the morning because you'll have crows trying to pick your eyes out. You'll have the thorn bush. You'll have rats, possums.
Well, don't forget too. Was it a raven or was it some? There was another like an eagle that was trying to attack anybody that would walk out in the front yard.
yeah,
remember?
mockingbird. That was
Yeah,
in the
that
front.
thing
That's in the
was-
front. So the front's no picnic. I mean, it's a mad dash.
a mother mockingbird.
Yes.
Oh,
that
that
was
thing-
protecting her nest.
Mean.
But she nested 3 inches from where you park your car.
I mean, there's normalcy everywhere, and you get to my house, and it's just a sea of fuckery. And it's all around the whole thing. It starts at the front door, and it gets worse as you go back.
fuckery likes fuckery. And I think if your wife grew up surrounded by chaos and fuckery, she is turning into her mother. I'm doing the same thing. Like,
So what's her mother turning into?
I don't know, but she loves to bathe at 1 a.m.
I mean, it's just, I don't know what's going on here. It's just
I just picture
trying
you.
to take it all in.
In my head, I picture you getting up, and there's the dog is licking your feet like you said it does, and then
Yeah.
you just look out, and then there's your mother-in-law waving at you from the tub. Hey, Kevin. That's how I picture it.
Then
in
I
my
just
head.
calmly look, I'm like, hey, and just kind of keep on going. It's like, what's going on here? It's just really all you can do.
I live in a fun house.
You're just like, what's going on?
I do
here?
think there's something to when people are a little bit older, they like to get up really, really early and start their day. Because
Yeah.
Ann does the same shit with the dishes.
Yeah.
2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, washing dishes and
Yes.
pans. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Right. It's amazing when they start their days. You're like, it's just like, what? Well, and the funny thing about it is she gets up at that time and gets all ready. And her whole process of getting ready, I think, takes about 4 to 5 hours for her day. It's unbelievably, like, just meticulous. And then she goes back into the garage, sits in her chair, puts on the Disney Channel, and falls asleep. Like, why don't you just sleep till like 6? I mean, there's no like even competition for this bathroom anymore. It's like you're like, and you walk in there, and it's like 8 in the morning. Like on the weekends, I'll walk in, and she's. I'm like, what, Dad, why didn't you just sleep another 4 hours so long ago? Why'd you have to wake up at 1 a.m.? You know?
And decide to rearrange the pots.
Right.
At 2 in the
I
morning.
don't know what we're doing here.
I'll never forget one time my mom was visiting from Texas, and this was at the height of her bipolar spin. So she was manic as crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And she was staying at the condo. She was staying in Magnolia's room. And then I had a friend who was sleeping on the sofa because we had all been out the night before partying.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was kind of like sleeping off a drunk on our sofa. And then me and Panda were in the second bedroom of the condo. And so at like 2 a.m., my mom decided to rearrange all the dishes. Like, she wanted my ceramic mugs to be where the plates were and the plates to be where the mugs were. And then
Oh,
the
boy.
pots and the pans were all wrong. The silverware was all wrong. She rearranged the entire kitchen from like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. And my
Yeah.
friend was on the sofa just cursing under his breath.
Oh, that's I know. It's the worst, right?
It is.
I was fine because my door was closed and the TV was on. I didn't hear shit. But we came out, and my friend looked like he had gone like 4 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. He was just beat up and mad.
Man, the frustration along with the sleep deprivation.
The bags under his eyes.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. I get it. So, yeah, it happens. People are weird, man. Got this email talking about dealing with anxiety. And their anxiety has to do with speaking in front of people. They said, I honestly don't know why. It just makes me very depressed thinking about the fact that I don't very well. The most embarrassing moment happened to me March 26, 2018, not long ago. I had to do an oral presentation in front of my classmates in English at Palm Beach State College. I prepared for this presentation day and day out prior to me presenting. I knew exactly what I was going to say verbatim. When the moment finally came for me to present, I completely went blank. My voice became super shaky. I began to stutter, and I couldn't stand still at all. Embarrassed by my nervousness, I completely rushed through the presentation just so I could go home and not be around anyone, knowing that I made a fool of myself. I'd like to know if this is at all normal for someone to feel this nervous simply talking to a group of people. And is there any way to completely rid myself of this anxiety? I was told that I should read more books or just get in the habit of speaking publicly more often. I'm not a very confident person to begin with because of the extra chest fat that I have, which is still visible even while wearing a shirt. I honestly don't know what to do. Please help me. Thank you.
I mean, the first thing I would say is it is such a common fear for people to be afraid to speak in front of people. It is so common. Don't feel bad about that.
It's the number one fear.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do, and don't beat yourself up, because I have been in situations like that where I've gone up and spoke in front of people, because I don't really like speaking in front of small groups of people. It kind of weirds me out a little bit, and I have had some really bad, awful, weird, awkward moments. It's just part of the game. The more you do it, the better you get, but if you're really dreading it, I would honestly say it sounds like you're dealing with a confidence issue, and you need to work on some of that too.
And you really, I mean, you threw yourself into the fire. That's a tough thing to have to get up in front of everybody in your English class and make a presentation without doing baby steps to build up to that.
Yeah, because it sounds like you're already struggling with confidence, and then you're jumping into the major leagues by leading on a presentation, which is very big for a lot of people.
Yes, and if you feel uncomfortable about the way your chest looks, you can go and buy a men's undershirt that it's like Manx. It's Spanx for men, but they make it now so that it like sucks everything in and really does take like 3 or 4 inches off your circumference of your stomach, man boobs, whatever your issue is. It just
Can you then catch your breath to speak? Chest fat going.
Don't get too cinched. You don't want it to be too tight because you want to be able to breathe. But there are things you can do to give yourself confidence before you walk into it. And we'd be happy to coach you and help you. And if you want to come in here and give us any presentation you have to give before you have to do it to your class, we'll coach you. We'll guide you.
I think, too, sometimes when people feel like they're alone, they tend to make things, oh, my gosh, I'm the only one. I'm a freak. I'm this. I used to feel that way about not being able to go on the second story of the mall, or even in my class at math. That was embarrassing to tell somebody. I can't go upstairs because I have terrible anxiety. But the more you do stuff, I find the better you do get. And just knowing that you're not alone makes you feel... I found out that there are other people who suffer from anxiety, so it made me feel better about myself. And with you, there is a lot of people who have struggled so badly talking in front of people. You're not alone, and you're not weird because of that.
It is totally normal, and totally you can get better.
Yes.
Totally.
There are things that you could do to start practicing too. Meditation is something, learning to control your thoughts. Once you get a little bit better at meditating and learning how to block things out, going into a moment like that, you did the right thing. First of all, you were very prepared.
Yeah.
Which that is a big help. meditating and then getting into it and realizing, taking it small, like you need to learn how to block out the thoughts about chest fat and about other things like that, and really just focus on how you're going to begin. Because I find with a lot of things, I still get nervous at times, and it's weird for me. I don't know when I'm going to get nervous when I have to speak, and it's sometimes the oddest thing. Sometimes I go up there and it's not a big deal and I'm completely comfortable and I take the mic and here we go. There are other times I might be speaking to a class at a school and I get nervous. When I did the Michael Vick interview just last week, I was tremendously nervous because I was going into a weird situation for me. I wasn't prepared like I wanted to be. I had had a chaotic weekend where it was like one thing after another, and I like to be fully knowing somebody inside and out so that I can really go at it. And I didn't feel prepared enough. And here I am knowing that I had listened to an interview where there were these guys in Memphis that had really kind of kissed his ass and like going, hey, man, everybody's so excited to have you in town. And, dude, I mean, like you did this, you did that, you were great and this and that. And I had a different tone to mine because I didn't want to be celebratory because of who the individual was. And I was concerned that.
Well, you were being real. They were being fake. Because the elephant in the room is, hey, this guy beat dogs, so you kind of have to bring it up. And if you don't and you just blow him the whole time, like, that's not real.
But I totally get your nervousness because it's an awkward, weird situation. And you don't do a lot of one-on-one interviews, especially in front of a camera, especially with a controversial figure. So there's a lot of factors that would lead up to your nerves. I totally get why you are like that.
And the crowd that was there was about maybe 10 people that were around watching the taping. But
you did it in an open forum, like an oral presentation, like this guy had.
Yeah, but the people that were there, and this was the weird thing, the people that were there were celebratory of Michael Vick. They were wearing his jerseys and they had stuff for him to autograph. And
so you were the one dick.
So it was a weird thing. And right before, I had just sat down and I talked to him and I said, hey, I mean, I just want to let you know, I'm not here to blindside you or anything like that, but anything and everything's got to be able to come up in your life. And it was a cold reaction. It was like...
He kind of shut down a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think we need to... I think a lot of that stuff's been really well documented. Like, I mean, what are we talking going back? And all of a sudden he's like, let me check and see what this layout is. Like, I want to make sure I'm comfortable with the camera setup you got going on. So I'm like, oh,
Did he get up?
He got up and walked out of the room.
Oh,
and so...
Yeah, how come you didn't tell us this? This is a great story.
I'd kind of brought in a consultant, somebody to kind of like help me and give me guidance on doing this interview. So I wanted to do it right. For many different reasons. I felt like you were walking a tightrope here.
Sure.
And he had told me, he was like, that's not encouraging, man. He's coming off cold. He had shut down. And so I knew I was going into this thing kind of in a hostile situation.
Yeah.
Where Michael Vick is hostile to me. What we had, and the thing that helped me out was, it's about this youth football league that they're doing. It's Georgia versus Florida, and the guy who organized it was sitting there, and he asked on the couch, he's like, okay, do you want to sit in between us? I'm like, well, no, I'm gonna put Michael Vick on the far end. I'm gonna have you in the middle. And then I sat on the one side because I thought it would be better. I said, I want to run this through you. I said, the reason why I'm doing this is I believe in these kids in this game first. I believe in using athletics to help kids avoid problems they could wind up in life. Michael Vick is going to be my ancillary. He's not the main focus of the interview. And so when I kind of worked that out of my mind, I still started out, though, and you can tell when your voice is like not strong.
Right. When you kind of sound like you're 12.
Yeah.
Going through puberty. Well,
Right.
Mr. Vick.
Right.
Ah.
So I sit down, I'm uncomfortable, my voice is shaky, and here I am, I'm very nervous. And there is a woman that is with the guy that is putting on this football game. And she's very pretty, and she's taking some photos and this and that. And he makes a comment so that I believe that they're a couple. And I make something like going, yeah, it is a lot easier when you got your love with you. And he's like, oh, no, she's just my assistant. I'm like,
oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
not what you needed at that moment when you're already struggling with nerves.
This is a great story.
Strategy and everything.
Oh, I
And
love it.
he was good at playing it off. Could have made me feel a lot worse than what I did.
Yeah.
So he was really awesome in that respect, but at the same time, you're just like, oh man, this is just not starting off well. And so I was holding the mic, and my hand was a little shaky. You know, my hands are, that'll happen to you. You'll get a little bit shaky. Sometimes you're just not strong and powerful in, you know, your own skin.
And the whole time he's thinking, wow, what a pussy.
Right. I know. That's what is in your head. But you got to try to fight through a lot of negative thoughts, man. I really feel like you are your own worst enemy when you get in these situations and you start attacking yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to recognize the negative thoughts of you attacking yourself, and you have to block out that negativity. And you have to power through it. And what helped me, I actually wound up getting in a comfortable position sitting. So make yourself comfortable. I held onto the mic with 2 hands so that I wouldn't look all shaky and nervous like what I was. And then you focus on how you begin, because a lot of times it's with so many things. Once you get going, you get momentum. And as you get momentum and things start going better, then you start getting confidence. And that's how you get through it. The toughest part of any presentation is starting. Then after you do, then you're like, okay, then you relax. Any of the interviews, I'm doing more interviews now with the sports show, and that's where I got to get better, because the back end of like every interview is so much better than the front end. And so I've got to figure out how to start better. But I went right to that guy that was in the middle, and I talked to him about why you're doing this, what you help kids from, and establish that groundwork. And then when I went to Michael Vick, it was like, Michael, how do you think something like this could have helped you in the struggles you've had in your life? And then went from there, and then we got everything into it. And then by the end, I was confident. And I went to, you know, the one question I really wanted to ask him. I said, if you had to have a heart-to-heart with yourself, Michael, right before you were arrested, what would Michael Vick now tell Michael Vick then? And, you know, and so I kind of finally got to what I wanted to do. But, man, I had confidence then. I was strong then. I could hold the mic with one hand then. But, yeah, the first 5 to 8 minutes of that interview, I was a bundle of nerves. And so it does happen. So those are the things that kind of help me and I focus on.
The other thing that started helping me greatly, because I used to really not like to talk in front of smaller groups, and I'm okay with it now, but I kind of I got this in my head. On my deathbed, is this really going to matter? And I really kind of got that. I go, on my deathbed, am I going to really give a shit about
Why am I letting myself get
Yes.
all bent?
And that really did really relax me, and
Yes.
it kind of clicked, saying, okay, this isn't that big of a deal. Even if it goes horribly wrong and terrible, on my deathbed, it's really not going to mean diddly shit.
And you can really win over whoever your audience is by owning your nervousness. And maybe that's
Yeah.
your opening line.
Get them on your side.
If you're about to stand up in front of your English class at Palm Beach State and you're nervous, you can bet everybody else is nervous too.
Oh, yeah.
And how you get them on your team is you own that. You don't try to pretend to be calm, cool, and collected and like, I got this, because
Right.
you're nervous. So say it. Man, guys, I am nervous. I do not do well speaking in front of crowds. Bear with me. I'm just going to try to get through this, and this is just a really big step for me. As soon as you say that, they'll be on your side. They'll be cheering for you
Yeah.
because now you're all in it together.
Especially with presentations, too. Don't forget, visuals help out, and so do props, because if you're able to do a visual for about 10 to 15 seconds, that might give you time to regroup a little bit. Because I know a lot of times in presentations, they will allow a visual or two. That
Sure.
does help.
Self-depreciating comedy, too, is awesome as an icebreaker to start. Say something about yourself that is pretty funny in the moment and embarrassing for you, and the crowd will laugh, and you'll be like, all right, this is a great way to start.
Yeah.
With that Michael Vick interview, if you watch it, is it visibly uncomfortable? Because now I want to see it now.
I don't know that you would find it that way, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because you'll probably see a lot of instances. I know Beyonce has talked, one interview I heard her do, I think about a lot when I find myself in that situation, and she talks about how she gets those massive butterflies. She gets nerves, you know, and she said she thinks that
She's Beyonce.
Right, exactly. And so even Beyonce is doing that. I'm sure before she went on stage at Coachella, she had the butterflies, and you're just like, oh, I mean, the anticipation. But she tries to take that and funnel that into positive energy, because she realizes it's kind of her body. And I think that our bodies naturally do that. It's a way for us to get that adrenaline going, to get onto that. Because when you're on stage or you're trying to hold people's attention, it's you plus 10%. And so to get that extra edge, I think our body naturally helps us out. So instead of seeing it as a negative, say it's a positive. My body's trying to help get me prepared to go up there and do a good job, and look at it as something that's positive rather than something that's debilitating and negative. I also find if you have a couple points to get to in your presentation, it makes it easier. If you know, I got to just open up and get right to the easy thing that you do. And like Jay Bird had said, it kind of feeds off what he was talking about having something you can point at. Then I just got to fill the gaps until I get to point 2, wrap at point 3, and then you're out.
Yeah, I don't know if you had to do this. It says that you had memorized your presentation, and when the moment came, you went blank. Well, if you are allowed to, you should have at least a little outline in front of you at all times when you're speaking publicly, because if you want to be funny and you want to connect with your audience, you're going to have to do little quips, little anecdotes, little stories. But you're going to always need to go back to that outline to help you stay on track and not lose your focus. If you don't have that outline in front of you, you're really setting yourself up for something tough. And then you're just standing there regurgitating memorization, which that's not going to be fun for your audience to watch. That's not going to be your best self, I don't think.
Personal rule I have for myself, I'm not sure this is, the advice everybody needs, but for me, if I'm not comfortable, I don't attempt comedy.
See, that's my problem. That's all I do.
I think that there's something about just being relaxed and being able to be funny. And if I notice in the moment I'm not relaxed, I don't try it, because I have done that before, learned the hard way. I'm like, well, you know what? I'll just break some ice. I'm really nervous and it'll help me too. And I try something, crickets. I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, I'm now 10 times more nervous. And the crowd's now like going, oh, this guy's dying. And it just really goes downhill.
You got to take a chance, though. And if you think you have something funny to say, like yesterday, I had to go up and speak in front of like 350 women. But Liz Quirantes was introducing me.
Okay.
And so I joked about how we had the same dance instructor, and she won that whole dance competition, and I sucked so bad, and the crowd laughed at it, and I was like, okay, good. That put me at ease to hear the crowd.
Did you have confidence, or were you had debilitating nerves before you delivered the line?
I was nervous, but I didn't know if it was the way to go or not, and I just said, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go up here and I'm going to make fun of myself and my bad dancing, because it happened in the same exact room at the Kravis Center, which is kind of funny.
The other thing, too, is once you've bombed in front of a pretty sizable audience, you kind of... It's like going through a breakup. You kind of start to become bulletproof, because you realize nothing's that... It's not that bad. It sucks in the moment, but you can totally get back up there, and life goes on, baby.
And if you laugh at yourself, and you own it, you're so far ahead of most people.
I like now. I mean, obviously, I like talking in front of people now. But when I was in school trying to give little reports, it was tough, man. It sucked. I totally get the nervousness.
Totally.
Hopefully that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any advice? You can send us emails, mail at kvjshow.com. Got this email. We're talking Mona V, Al Green, and the Pizzle.
Oh, no. I just so happened to sell Mona V.
No, actually, it's the other way around. My mom fell in the Mona V hole. She had me try a bottle that was supposed to help my gout. I started taking this juice daily, but my gout was actually getting worse.
Oh, shit.
So maybe you had to go through a little pain first before it started to work.
Oh, no.
I pick up the bottle, read the ingredients, and see that it's made of shellfish. Shellfish flares up gout like crazy.
Oh, no.
I threw the rest of that bottle away and never believed in the product again. Now I just deal with the pain.
Mona V had shellfish in it?
I know, right? Crazy.
I think, is gout the one disease you can't drink on?
Yeah, my father-in-law has it, and he's been a partier his whole life. He'll still have a little bit, but it flares it up. Yeah, it's kind of like acid, like in your feet. I think it's real painful to walk.
I got a buddy who's got gout who used to love whiskey, and he can't drink it anymore, and he's pretty sad.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh my gosh, gout sounds awful.
Yeah, Virginia, if you got it, it'd be over.
I would just shoot me.
Just chop off your feet.
I think you would
too.
Ooh,
can I get those Olympic legs of that guy?
Yeah, springy.
That'd be awesome.
Doing, doing, doing.
I would miss getting pedicures, but it'd be kind of fun to jump 10 feet.
Somebody said the Mona RV that we used to see, that people that had that RV, they sold it off. They're out of the game, and I guess they live comfortably in Ocala now, so they were making some coin off of it.
Interesting. I wonder if you talked to them, if they would say, oh, yeah, we came out on top, and are they telling the truth?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Someone else, Crystal of KVJ Nation, said to let you know Walmart does do cold food, eggs, milk, meat, anything you can ask for in their drop-off service. What they do not do is sporting goods, electronics, or clothing for the pickup service. You can order those things online or pick them up in the store yourself, but that is not part of the Walmart grocery pickup, just to set the record straight. So there you go.
Okay.
And one here for the KVJ Nation map. Got Joshua Shaler listening from Dubai. Love you guys. Stay classy, South Florida.
Dubai. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Our Dubai numbers are growing.
Yes. So if you live somewhere outside of South Florida, let us know where, and we'll put you on the map that you can see on our website, kvjshow.com. You never know. There might be some other KVJ listeners in your neighborhood or in your city, wherever you might be. And I know, like, for instance, in Chicago, they meet up, the crew up there.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, I'm going to come see you guys, I think, the first week of August. I'm going to be back in Chicago. So we'll have to all get together when I get up there. So see you all then. All right, any email comments to us, mail@kvjshow.com. You have an amazing day. We will talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.